Afternoon, folks. How's everybody doing today? It's been a long day, man. I've been off sorts and at a kilter. I don't know, it's the 5G or the Corona or the sunspots. Yeah, I don't freaking know, man. It's just been a day when I'm about a half a step at a time. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you survived Mr. Murphy's day. Although Mr. Murphy doesn't really give a shit what day it is. He likes to show up anyway. We're going to take a look at some headlines. The only reason I actually jumped in today to do this, I was going to take the day off so I don't bury you people. But I was watching Computing Forever, which is Dave Cullen's channel, and Dave's the soul-eating Irishman. And he has some really good stuff, and lately he's really gotten down to it. And he's watching Ireland be destroyed, and it's driving him crazy, and I feel for him. I'm with you, Dave. I got you, man. But he had James Corbett on, and the interview is about 46 and a half minutes long. Really interesting. And I don't know much about Corbett, except he does the Corbett Report. And you can subscribe to it on BitChute, which I'm going to have to do now. I hate YouTube. I'm tired of commercials. I don't want commercials while I'm trying to watch a friggin' video. It drives me nuts. Especially when I'm out walking the dog and it's basically nothing more than a podcast in my ear. Neither here nor there. They were going over the Agenda 21 Global Governance Plan, and this guy Corbett's spot on. He knows his shit backwards and forwards, and he's talking about stuff that I didn't even know about. But he made the really valid point, and we covered this last week when we did Hills, and are you going to pick one to fight on? It's the incremental acquiescence. So it's going to start with being locked in your house and you can't go out. And then you can go out, but you have to wear a mask. And then the next thing is going to be, well, if you're not going to wear a mask or carry the tracing app or papers to prove, then it becomes the vaccine. And then if you refuse to take the vaccine, then you're going to be shut out of society. The other point that Cullen made, which was really interesting, was he goes, you look at all these little mom and pops that are closing down. He was talking about the pub in his village. He goes, they closed down. They can't stay open. They run out of business. And you can buy the land up for dirt cheap. And they were saying, it really looks like what they want to do is to pack you into these large urban mega hives. Which makes sense to them, because the least amount of freedom is when you're packed in like sardines. Look at New York City. The place as a whole. Greatest city in the world. I'm going to go with no. And I came from there. But you have to remember, too, when they lock you in there, it makes them easier to brainwash you because you have all that cognitive dissonance and you have all the confirmation bias that goes with being part of a herd of sheeple. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to stand out. You got to go along to get along and all that bullshit. So anyway, I would put the link on the back end of the video in the description box. But for some reason, when I do that, then the video sits in processing for 3 or 4 days. So just go to my Minds page, HUHWHTFKR. I'll stick it up on the bumper at minds.com. And no, that's an email address. It's minds.com/H. Oh, what fucker. And I'll have all the videos up there. That's what I do every day anyway, is I dump videos up on there just to push it along, so maybe somebody will stop and say, ooh, that looks interesting, and click on it. And maybe we can get one more to join the tribe. I'm trying. A lot of people that don't even try, okay? But really interesting. It is definitely worth the 45 minutes if you have nothing better to do. So, let's start off over on the zippers this morning, this afternoon. Civil rights attorney Leo Terrell, if the election were today, I'd vote for Trump. Mr. Terrell is a person of color, and he makes a very, very valid point. If the presidential election were held today, I would vote for Donald Trump. America is more important than party loyalty. You see, the two-party paradigm's fracturing. The my team, your team thing is fracturing as people wake up. They're not playing that crap anymore. It scares the shit out of the New World Order, too, because you hear people say all the time, well, Trump's just a Zionist and he's an Israeli agent. Okay, but if he was an Israeli agent, I don't see the New World Order, Zionist cabal, hegemony sweating us bad. So, just my take. I could be wrong. BLM protesters surround car. One shoots driver, police says. The BLM protesters are rioters. The guy that shot the guy in the car was white. It's nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. The guy in the car, and this is up in Provo, Utah, and apparently Utahians are very nice and polite people, is obviously dumb as a box of dicks, because if you're driving and you see there's a giant crowd of these nitwitted numbnuts sitting around throwing shit like monkeys in the monkey house, you make a U-turn and you get out of there and you go a different way. Why would you drive through this? Now, the guy was non-fatally shot. I don't know what that means. It doesn't give you weapon, doesn't give you caliber, it doesn't give you body part where he was shot. But he still got shot for his trouble, for trying to drive through these idiots. On the plus side, he didn't return fire so that he could automatically be labeled as a white supremacist and have his entire family's life ruined. Be smarter than the poo-flinging monkeys. If you see they're all bunched up, go around them. Unless, of course, you want to go in there and run them over or something, which is on you, but that's just as stupid because you never get the stink off your car. Father of man killed in CHOP, because not Chaz anymore. They realized that the word autonomous zone means sedition, and sedition means treason charges, and treason charges still carry the death penalty in this country. I'm surprised. Founder's Solid Gold Lager. Nice, little heavier than I want for a lager right now because it is brutally hot out. But it's got a little lemon zest in it, but not like a shandy where it's lemon juice. It's an interesting beer. I will do this beer later, apparently. Father of black teen killed in CHOP. It's time to bring in the National Guard. The kid was 16 years old. What the fuck was he doing down there? Don't get me wrong, I feel for the dad. I don't want to see anybody lose their children for any reason, but specifically spectacularly stupid reasons. And yes, 16-year-old kids, especially boys, will do incredibly stupid shit because they believe they're men. But now wind up costing this guy his kid's life. It's just horrible. Watch Antifa anarchists lie on TV about attacking people's cars. Excuse me. Oh man, this should come as a surprise. They're Marxist, folks. They are ideologically driven zealots. They are zombots. They have one goal and they will do whatever it takes to accomplish it. Seattle mayor upset because Black Lives Matter protested her house. Don't bend your knee. Don't acquiesce. Do not give them a friggin' inch. Well, what's the old saw? Second on your feet versus a life on your knees, right? Couple who drew weapons on BLM trespassers claim they support BLM. Husband defending man accusing police of beating him. I covered that yesterday. Okay. So as long as there's money in it, that's one thing. I can sue the city or the state and make a big fat paycheck. Redo that colonial mansion I'm living in, but get the fuck off my car. Get the fuck off my yard. Miami to begin fining people for not wearing masks. And it's time for social disobedience, folks. Let them write all the tickets they want and tear them up and throw them away, because you know what? They don't have the authority. Okay? This is about making you compliant. Behave. Do as you're told. I don't know how to put this to you folks. We're coming up on 4th of July, and 4th of July is the anniversary when we finally got sick and tired of doing what we were told and told them to go take a hike. But hey, your life. Do what you want. Don't pick a hill. Stay on the train. Just watch them go by the windows. Shocking to nobody, Parler begins banning people it doesn't like. I just actually signed up for there last week. They haven't banned me yet, but I'm small and nobody knows who I am, so we could be sneaky. Apparently it's a French company. I did not know that. I don't really care. It's not like I'm paying them. Oh my God. Fauci now claims 100,000 new cases per day possible. We can't test that many people. Okay, folks, pay attention. You hear that the numbers are spiking. We're discovering tens of thousands of new cases every day. We are. What they always leave out is the death rate has flatlined. Number spiking, death rate's flatlined. It's actually gone down a little. The reason you're finding all these cases is they're testing people who've had it or been exposed. There's another video that's up on my Minds page where the gentleman who's a doctor is explaining that in the Texas urgent cares, I guess, they said they were freestanding ERs, and they might be, but usually an ER is attached to a hospital. They're testing people right and left all the time, and the majority, and he said the vast majority, not bad, of people coming in are complaining of mild cold-like symptoms. And that's the ones that are complaining of any kind of symptoms, not the people who are just coming in to be tested to see if they had it. Don't let them sell you this load of shit, folks. This is all part of that Agenda 2130 bullshit. Watch the Cullen interview. Friggin' super interesting. These guys really tie some shit together. Residents protest Nyack College, Nyack is New York, being sold to Jews because they might make the town racist. They will. They don't like you. You're not a Jew, trust me. And especially if it's the super hardcore Hasidic Orthodox, they do not want you there. Oh God, to them you're a bug. Yeah, well, you don't want to be downwind to these people, trust me. Official DNC Twitter account tweets Mount Rushmore is white supremacy, and then deletes the tweet immediately. Okay. Well, you know what? Think about this, folks. If Barack Obama had actually been a good president who gave shit one about the country, people probably wouldn't complain. But he is no way on par with Washington, Jefferson, TR, and Lincoln. No one has been for over a century. TR's the last one on there, and he was the early 1900s. DNI Ratcliffe reminds the intelligence community leaking classified information is a crime. You shouldn't have to remind these people. What you should be doing is prosecuting these people. See, a lot of people don't understand, especially with like these protesters. It's all well and good as long as there's no consequences. If nothing's happened, why wouldn't I? It's like the looters. They allow them to loot. There's no consequence for their action. Why wouldn't they? The problem is, as you're emboldening these protesters, what the final result is going to be is brutal and vicious. That this will come down to hot situations. Okay? Just remember that when you start hearing stuff's popping and going off, didn't take care of it early enough. Yeah, you let that infection fester. You let me know how you feel in a couple of days. NBA to paint Black Lives Matter on side of Disney courts. allow players to put social justice messages on jerseys. And if you watch it, you're a bigger moron than they think you are. Carl Reiner is dead. I personally like Carl Reiner. I thought he was kind of a funny guy, but when I was reading the comments, there were a lot of people who dislike him because his son is a dick. His son is a dick. Black family requires an escort into New York church because Black Lives Matter protested it. So, it's the funeral for a black person whose life apparently mattered to his family, but not to the protesters. You gotta tear that Band-Aid off to get to the infection sometimes. These people are Marxist stooges. You are looking at the next iteration. Sorry. Of a Bolshevik revolution, except we don't actually have Bolsheviks. We have Bolshevik shitheads, apparently. Protesters swarm police SUV in Detroit. It promptly plows through them. Okay. I'm a firm believer, and if you're a swarm of people and you're surrounding me, I am now afraid for my life because they shot the guy in Utah. I'm done. Again, you have to be a stooge to do it, but fringe activists set up guillotine outside of Bezos' home, calls for Amazon and him to be abolished, not realizing that he's one of the idiots that backs them to the friggin' hilt. Hulu removes episode of The Golden Girls over blackface accusation. Okay. Never watched it, don't really care, but it's for old white broads, which is why they wanted it off the air. Huge. Per his lawyer, General Flynn was targeted because he knew about the billions Brennan and company were running off the books. Surprises me not at all. If you're not a 9/11 person, and I won't even touch the towers and physics because that's too much. There are no images of a plane slamming into the General Accounting Office in the Pentagon the day after Donald Rumsfeld, who was the protege to William Westmoreland, said, yeah, well, it's only $2.3 trillion we're missing, and we'll get around to looking for it. Next thing you know, boom! Office doesn't exist anymore, all records are gone. Which is bullshit, because all those records are backed up somewhere. National tragedy, hide the crime. The patterns are there, you gotta look for them. Black Lives Matter protester trying to block car carrying Iowa governor shocked when hit as car is driven right through him. Congratulations. Yeah, there's another physics lesson. There's a lot more mass in a car than you, dumbass. Will Judge Amy Berman Jackson succeed in giving Roger Stone the death penalty? She needs to have her tags pulled, and she needs to be evaluated for her inability to follow her oath of office. And then she should be open civilly. Break her. The June tally, 31 farm attacks and 3 murdered white farmers in South Africa, but they don't tell you what they do to the children over there, folks. It is absolutely brutal. One of the guys on mine's ex-South African cop. Some of the stuff he puts up will give you nightmares at night. These are not people, these are animals. They need to be treated as such. But what's the United Nations say? Oh no. No, you can't do that. They're people too. Same United Nations that has the Agenda 2130 plan in place. That wants to be in charge of the one world government that tells you how to live. Just remember that shit. Don't pick a hill. Stay on the train. After 2 confirmed murders in Seattle's Cheschop SDOT, Seattle's Department of Transportation, crews removed barriers with heavy machinery. Defiant squatters rebuild barriers. They're dug in like ticks, and you're going to have to dig them out like ticks, and it's not going to be pretty. Wow, check this shit out. Rapper Lord Jamar. Black Lives Matter is a movement given to us by George Soros and his fucking boys. Not wrong, although there's chatter out there that Soros died about 2 years back and his kids are just using his name as a stalking horse. Herd immunity for COVID-19 may be closer than it seems, new model shows. Good, we're at 20 minutes. Is there anything super interesting left? Release the results. Biden claims he is constantly tested. When asked and then he's asked if he's been tested for cognitive decline. I'm going to say Joe would no. Oh man, he's just making blunder after blunder. There's 5 or 6 blurbs about him not knowing what's going on. Here it is. Senior executive at Texas ER chain reveals real reason for spike in coronavirus cases. I'll have it up on my mind. You can look for it there. It's super interesting. Crooked Soros-backed state's attorney Kim Foxx from Jussie Smollett fame now reportedly going to drop charges on Chicago curfew violators. Of course she is. God will not give way to the care of the devil. Michael Flynn offers prayer of hope for America during his troubled time. Okay. BLM protesters pull out AK-47 rifle, curse and scream at local KSDK reporter during mob action at Mayor Crewsom's home. Okay. Disgusting Never Trump rhino opens hero with Dr. Fauci by calling on Trump to wear a mask. All right. The next thing I know, I was coming to, they actually knocked me out. That's the old fella that got knocked out praying for peace at the St. Louis statue. They lock those guys up and they should throw away the friggin' key. 4 children shot, 18 people dead, 47 wounded in weekend violence in Mayor Lightfoot, Chicago. Seems like a light weekend. And that's it. Last one is, and I'll put this up too because this is great. I watched it last week. Venezuelan woman warns Americans about what happens after removing statues. Nothing good. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you had the time to just kind of pop in and look around. Yes, the Boogaloo is still on. If they can fake a Boogaloo, I will fake a Boogaloo. It still makes me laugh. It's 24 hours freaking later. All right. Thanks for coming by, putting some eyeballs on here. New folks, thanks for signing up. I appreciate it. Everybody have a nice one. Be safe. Tomorrow is Wednesday. That would be the middle of the week. And most people have Friday off. So technically, Wednesday would be Metric Thursday. Think of it that way. All right. Adios and skol, my friends. We'll see you on the next one.